If a single one of you fails my test, I'll make sure the whole class gets held back. All of us were shaking because his tests were impossible. He handed them out, and when we read the first question, we all looked at each other. Some students were crying. Nobody's pencil were moving. But then, our teacher's phone rang. He walked out of the room to answer it, closing the door behind him. We knew this was our chance. What did you get for number one? But nobody knew a thing. But just as Mitch flipped to the back, his eyes lit up. He held up his page. Guys, I think this is the answer key. Then, the handle turned. Everyone went silent. The teacher walked in, glared at all of us, and said, "Sorry guys, my wife's calling. I'll be back in 2 minutes. No cheating." He shut the door. Everyone looked at Mitch. Instantly, everyone ran over to his desk, memorizing answers, fighting for a peek. We were all trying to read them, shoving each other aside. 30 seconds left. "Give me that!" We all started to learn what the Pythagorean theorem meant. Every equation, every definition. I heard him walking up to the door. "He's coming." We ran back to our desks, but I saw it. The answer key was still out. The handle turned, but I said, "The key, hide it quick." Mitch's eyes went wide, but he walked in. Did someone say something? Everyone was silent. He glared at us, then at Mitch. I looked closer, and his cheeks were puffed. He put the test in his mouth. Our teacher walked by and sat down. We all started writing, but when I handed in my test, he said, "Wait." My heart was racing. "Do you have something to tell me?" Oh no, I was busted. He leaned in, squinting. I sighed. "I'm sorry. Someone left an answer key on Mitch's desk. We all copied off of it. You guys memorized every answer and copied them all down? Do you realize what that is?" I was ready to repeat the year. "Yes, sir. It's cheating." But he put his hand on my shoulder. "Wait, what?" He smiled. "That's called studying. Who do you think left it there? If a single one of you..."
My mom kissed me, and then she died. I wasn't sad at all. I just reached out and gently touched Mom. Mom opened her eyes again. But when she touched me once more, she collapsed and died again. I tried to bring her back to life once more, but failed completely. Only then did I realize that anyone I revived would die permanently the moment I touched them again. But that day my dog was hit by a car and killed. I touched the puppy with my fingers. A flash of light appeared, and the puppy came back to life. But a minute later, a squirrel suddenly died. It turned out that reviving a life required the sacrifice of another life. I caught a few fireflies that had just died, touched them to bring them back to life, and started a stopwatch. A minute later, the fireflies in another jar died. I finally grasped the rules and...
My girlfriend came to check her secret base, but it was flooded.
There's a hole here. It must be from rain leaking in.
But instead of abandoning it, she even put up a welcome sign.
Renovation complete. This is the bedroom. This is the bathroom.
The toilet is way too high. I can't use it.
Come on. The toilet's lower now.
But what about all this water?
I've got a solution. Now my secret base is clean.
But then they said, this is a septic tank.
No way. Don't you smell the fresh air of nature?
On the way, we saw a bucket.
Look, this bucket is exactly like ours. There are words on it. Artificial septic tank, please.
My girl... This man used to be a massive fan of hot Cheetos, but when he opened a brand new bag and took his first bite, he literally sued the company because Cheetos released a new flavor called Double Extra Hot Cheetos that were twice as spicy and twice as dangerous. They launched ads claiming that their new Cheetos were the spiciest snacks in stores and...
The kitten was taking its first bath, terrified beyond belief, frantically trying to dash out the door. Yet, it was eventually grabbed by the woman. But the kitten struggled desperately, and the woman simply couldn't manage it alone. Helpless, she had to call her husband for help, and only then did they successfully... This woman owned 21 black cats. She found them in all kinds of unexpected corners every day. Because of this, she had to be extra...
Easy get
If this is yellow, I get to eat everything on the McDonald's menu.
If this is pink, you need to eat bulldog for this entire week. Oh. If
this is yellow, I get to eat dozen Krispy Kremes.
If this is yellow, I get to eat a $1,000 lobster. If this is green, I get to eat a whole pumpkin pie.
If this is pink, I get to eat fried chicken.
If this is yellow...
This man's legs were 16 feet long. The most ridiculous part was that they would automatically form a heart shape. Whenever he got close to his girlfriend, his legs would lose control. It looked romantic at first, but his girlfriend had to carry his legs for him every day. It was extremely exhausting. Even when she was very careful, his legs accidentally got tangled around a pillar. His girlfriend broke down on the spot and walked away without looking back. The man couldn't catch up, so he threw his entire leg forward, but it ended up hitting his girlfriend and knocking her unconscious. He panicked completely and quickly took her home. Then the man detached his legs. It turned out his real height was only 1 meter. Back then, after chasing his girlfriend, he was brutally rejected. He couldn't accept it, so he made a crazy decision. He endured severe pain and underwent a leg grafting surgery. He stood in front of her again on crutches, but in the end, she still left him. Until one day, he suddenly received news that his girlfriend had been kidnapped. That moment, he completely lost his mind. While driving to rescue her, his legs flew out of the car window. He grabbed them back immediately, but they got slammed by the car door. He didn't have time to feel pain. When he arrived at the scene, he threw his long legs into the building and climbed up. He found his tied-up girlfriend. He used his legs as weapons and fought fiercely with the kidnappers. But he accidentally hit his girlfriend during the fight. He kept fighting hard and used his long legs to their full advantage. In the end, he defeated everyone and saved her. He then detached his legs and turned them into a stretcher. He carried her safely back home. He curled his long legs into a wheel shape and stored them away. Then he cooked for his unconscious girlfriend. Unexpectedly, when she woke up, she hugged him from behind. This time, she finally looked back at the man. Now the question is, if you were her, would you stay?
The man covered one of the peacock's eyes. Then he threw it down the hillside. According to the legend, wherever a peacock lands, that's where gold...
There was a small train that was very special.
A boy stuck slime on his head just because he saw a video and wanted to try it. But after he put it on, he found he couldn't get it off. Then his friend suggested washing it with hot water, but he still couldn't clean it off completely. Helpless, he had to go to a barber shop, and the slime was successfully removed. But the boy hadn't had enough fun yet. He then saw online that a pig stamp would leave a mark that couldn't be washed off once applied, so he gave it a try. First, he put it on his face, then on his arms. After doing all this, he waited for another 10 minutes. When he tried to wash it off, he found it really wouldn't come off, so the boy asked around for a friend studying medicine and applied the black ointment he had prepared in advance. But he found that even the black ointment he put on wouldn't wash off either. At that moment, he called his friend and found out that the ointment his friend gave him was just one that couldn't be washed off. 3 days later, the boy was shocked to find that the black pigment on his neck had turned purple, but he knew it wouldn't come off, so he just ignored it. Just then, he learned from his friend that there was an ointment to fix his hair part.
What? What's this? What is this? Wasabi. Fresh wasabi. Ooh. My turn. My turn. No way. Okay. Watch me. No me. What is this? Never mind. That's enough. More. Huh? Give me that. That's it.
A man and his buddy are fixing the roof tiles. When they come down, ouch, the man steps right on his buddy's hand.
We were sitting in the living room watching Shark Tank when my daughter looked at me and said, Mommy, I'm gonna be the youngest CEO in the whole neighborhood. The next weekend, she set up a lemonade stand, but instead of mixing regular country time lemonade like every other kid, she came up with a bright idea. She spent the morning in our kitchen, mixing what she called gourmet flavors, watermelon mint, strawberry basil, and something she called lavender honey that actually tasted incredible. She printed labels from our home printer and charged 50 cents more per cup than every other kid on the block. Our neighbor Mrs. Haggerty was having a yard sale that weekend. Mia knocked on her door and offered her 10% of her profits to set up in front of her driveway for the foot traffic. She was out there at 7 in the morning with a painted sign and little sample cups for people to try before they bought. She sold out by noon. Saturday afternoon, she recruited 2 neighborhood kids and gave them matching visors. She trained them on how to greet customers and how to make change. By Sunday morning, she was running a 3-person operation from our front yard. That's when the man in the BMW pulled up. He looked at the stand and said he only had Apple Pay. Mia reached under the table and pulled out her dad's portable card reader. She held it up to him and said, "No problem, sir. You can swipe, tap, or contactless. No excuses." His mouth dropped open while a 9-year-old processed his credit card for $3 worth of lemonade. An hour later, a kid 3 houses down set up his own stand. Mia walked over with her biggest smile and said, "Hey Noah, wanna merge? We'd cover way more customers together." Intimidated by her professional setup, he agreed immediately. Within an hour, she'd absorbed his whole operation and put him in charge of what she called their satellite location. By the end of the weekend, she counted everything out on the kitchen table. $217. She looked at her dad and said, "I just made more money than your Starbucks habit costs you in a week." Then she pulled out a notebook and started flipping through pages of profit margins and expense tracking for every flavor. I asked her where she learned about profit margins. She looked at me like it was the most obvious thing in the world. YouTube, Mom. There's tutorials for everything. We were sitting...
Why is your radish so big when we planted them at the same time? Did you curse me or something?
Nah, this is just sunbathing. I soak up the sun all day long, from morning till evening. Photosynthesis is off the charts. How could it not...
To make sure the dumplings fit perfectly in my mouth, Mom specially measured the size of my mouth. She then used a compass to cut out dumpling wrappers of the exact size. I could only watch them curiously. Growing up in such an environment, I developed obsessive-compulsive disorder and mysophobia, as expected. I get up sharp at 7 every morning. Everything at home must be kept neat and tidy, and I even time every single thing I do down to the minute. But my girlfriend is nothing like me. She never tidies up her room. Stepping into her room, I have to walk on tiptoes, and I even lay down a piece of tissue just to sit down. Before long, my mysophobia flared up. I couldn't help putting on cleaning gloves and spreading garbage bags across the floor. Shocked, my girlfriend jumped onto the table. Ignoring her, I started cleaning the room on my own. She fell asleep soon after. I stopped. He was about to get a good night's sleep in his hotel room, but the lights would not turn off.
This woman realized she was going to be late for work. When she went out, she noticed she had forgotten her phone, so she rushed back home. While she was there, she found the documents she needed to bring to the office. When she got downstairs, she realized she didn't have a car. Just as she didn't know what to do, a passerby stopped her to ask for directions. She discovered they were heading to the same place, so she got into the passerby's car. When she got out, she felt a little dizzy. To thank her, the passerby gave her a piece of bread. When she tried to get into the elevator, she found it was overloaded and was accidentally pushed out. She felt annoyed, but then the next elevator arrived right behind her and got her to work on time to clock in. Meanwhile, her co-workers were still stuck in the first elevator. Later, she decided to grab a snack, but the clerk was restocking, and there were only 20 minutes left before her afternoon shift. The restocking would take another half hour, but the clerk gave her the removed snacks for free. When she got home, she found her place was messy. Then someone knocked on the door. It was a delivery person bringing her food. She said she hadn't ordered anything, and after contacting the buyer, they realized the address had been entered incorrectly. The buyer let her keep the food, which turned out to be a cake and a drink. She posted about it on social media, and a friend ended up paying her back money she had borrowed earlier. She was really happy. On the weekend, while working part-time at a restaurant, one of her friends came in with a boyfriend. The woman joked, "This
ranking best childhood moment."
Why a simple walk turned into the best day of this dog's life. Athena thought she was just...
Jenny, 438 times 9,527.
4,172,826.
You are 0.05 seconds slower than yesterday.
I'm sorry, Mommy. I failed you. I'll study harder.
Sweetie, you're freezing. Turn on the heater.
It's fine, Mommy. We don't need to waste electricity. Mommy, my entire scholarship is yours.
Amazing. Here's $200 for you.
No thanks. I still have $80 left from 2 years ago.
How about the playground then?
No, I missed the school record by 0.01 seconds today. We need to train.
Such a perfect girl.
Mom, I got you a top college.
You're only 10. You're going to be the youngest doctor ever.
It's all...
My new neighbor knocked on my door holding a leash. My dog is barking a lot because he misses my husband, so if you hear him going crazy, just ignore it. Sure, but over the next few hours, I could hear the dog barking, screaming, and wailing at the top of his lungs. And when I heard the dog throwing himself against the wall, I knew I had to knock to find out what was going on. She opened the door by an inch, and I could only see her eyeball. "Hey neighbor, what's up?" I could still hear her dog crying. I just wanted to check on the noise. Is everything okay? Yep, I'm so so sorry about the barking. He's never acted like this before. And before I could respond, she shut the door. And that night, I could hear him digging at the floorboards and chewing her carpet. I knew from my old dog that meant severe distress. So I finally picked up the phone and called Animal Control. 2 hours later, Animal Control and the police were banging on her door. She walked out holding the dog by the collar. Here, just take him. I don't care anymore. But the second the officers stepped inside to grab him, he ripped free and ran straight to the bookshelf. The door opened, and inside, the dog was clawing at the base of a bookshelf and barking his head off. Ma'am, do you mind if we take a look? She forced a smile, but no words came out. They opened the wall, and inside was her unalived husband. The dog really did just miss her husband. I knew.
My grandma got a barbecue grill for her birthday and smiled, because cooking for her family meant the world to her. But sadly, her barbecue didn't taste good at all. We never said anything because...
The old man heard that a group of masters came to the park. He immediately jumped out of bed. He immediately ran to the fitness square. He used to be the strongest person here. Now he felt a strong sense of crisis. People were hanging on every pull-up bar and parallel bar. Some people could even spin while greeting the old man. The old man had to change to another area, but he found people were also doing handstands on every ring. Strangely, the person doing the handstand did not have his hat fall off. The old man turned his head and saw an 8-year-old child easily getting on the bar. The old man started to feel nervous. He went to a corner to find his old friends. He found that they were all training. The old man warmed up with a barbell. He also pulled a car to train his back. He even did pull-ups with a barbell. The old man's confidence came back. He challenged 2 people, but he almost got carried away. The unwilling old man went home and got a bag of snacks. He wanted to compete in intelligence with his opponents. The game was decided by chess. He was about to lose. He secretly ate the chess pieces. It turned out the chess pieces had already been replaced with snacks. Although he won the game, he still did not forget to exercise while eating. At night, the old man could not sleep more and more. He decided he must become the most popular person in the park. He decided to help people with mobility difficulties. He went to collect free eggs, afraid the eggs would be taken.
Today I found a face mask in my girlfriend's room. Strangely, one of its strings was missing, but my girlfriend said it wasn't a mask, and then she showed me how to use it correctly. At night, I found a small blue basin again. It's perfect for washing fruit because the whole design is great for pouring out water. But my girlfriend insisted it wasn't for washing fruit. I thought it was quite suitable. And my girlfriend, having had enough, told me the correct way to use it. The next night, I washed my hair with the liquid from the pink bottle on the bathroom sink. When my girlfriend saw this, she was too angry to speak, stammering as if she had something to say, and kept pointing at the pink bottle. After washing my hair, I continued to shave, but the little blade wasn't sharp at all. I tried many times, but couldn't shave off my beard. Just then, my girlfriend said it wasn't a razor for men, but something for women to shave body hair. What on earth is this?
Things in Japan that are totally useless. First, in Japan, many people leave their belongings everywhere, even on the streets, because people are trusted to not steal anything. But the moment you leave your umbrella behind, it's gone in seconds. And the crazy part is, when you leave behind an umbrella that looks different, they won't steal it, because it looks too expensive or even too foreign. Next, Japan made a towel that you can eat. People use this towel to dry or clean themselves